Let me ask you something straight from the gut. How many times have you counted on someone, believed they had your back, and they vanished the moment you needed them most? You texted, you called, you reached out, in silence. Like you never existed. Sound familiar? Here's the truth that will shake your soul awake. No one owes you loyalty, not your friends, not your co-workers, not even your family. And the sooner you let go of that expectation, the freer you'll become. This isn't about turning cold. This is about stepping into your power. Because when you stop expecting loyalty, you stop being dependent on the emotional roller coaster of other people's choices. And that, my friend, is where your real strength begins. Loyalty is not something you demand, and it's not something you beg for. It's something you inspire. You don't earn it by being the nicest person in the room. You earn it by being the most authentic, the most grounded, the most clear in who you are. Most people are operating from survival mode. They're not thinking about your heart, your struggles, your dreams. They're thinking about what they need, what they want, how they can win. So if you're still living your life waiting for someone to finally show you loyalty, you're setting yourself up for disappointment again and again. When you stop expecting loyalty, you stop handing your power to people who were never built to carry it. You begin to rise. You become your own source. You don't need someone else's validation or presence to feel whole. You are whole, and in that wholeness, you become magnetic. The right people show up, not because you expected them to, but because your strength calls to their strength. And those who fall away, they were never your people to begin with. They were passengers, temporary visitors, part of the lesson, not part of the legacy. When you understand this, you stop crying over people who leave and start building a life that no one can take from you. We live in a world where people are trained, yes trained, to seek salvation outside themselves. From childhood, we're conditioned to look for someone to lean on, someone to fix it, someone to understand us better than we understand ourselves. And while it may feel comforting for a moment, it's also the greatest trap you'll ever fall into. Because every time you expect someone to show up and save you, you're giving away the one thing that defines your destiny, your personal power. Let me be real with you. No one is coming. Read that again. No one is coming. Not your best friend, not your spouse, not your mentor, and if they do show up, it's a gift, not a guarantee. When you expect someone to pick you up every time you fall, you never build the muscle to stand on your own. And that makes you dependent. That makes you vulnerable, not in the empowering way, but in a way that weakens your emotional core. Think about it. If your confidence rises and falls based on who shows up for you, then you're living your life at the mercy of other people's moods, distractions, or agendas. You can't afford that. You can't live a legendary life waiting for someone to tell you you're worthy, or valuable, or strong enough. You have to decide that for yourself. This doesn't mean you shouldn't ask for help or enjoy love. It means you stop expecting someone else to rescue you from the work that's meant to be yours. Your healing, your growth, your journey, it's yours. And the moment you embrace that, the moment you stop putting that responsibility in someone else's hands, you reclaim control. You stop being a victim of who showed up and who didn't. You become the author of your life again. So next time you feel abandoned, next time you feel let down, ask yourself this: what part of me is waiting for someone else to do what I should be doing for myself? Because when you take that step, when you rise up without needing a hand, you discover something incredible. You've always been enough to stand on your own. This one might sting, but it's the truth that sets you free. You walk around thinking someone's loyal to you, but what they're really loyal to is how you make them feel, what you provide, what you solve for them, their comfort, their security, their ego, their convenience. And the moment you stop feeding that need, they disappear, and you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? But you didn't do anything wrong. You just stopped being useful to their story. People aren't bad. They're just human. They operate from their own internal wiring, their own goals, fears, insecurities, and survival instincts. And when push comes to shove, most people will choose what serves them. Loyalty is rarely about you. It's about what you represent to someone in a moment of time. And when that changes, so does their loyalty. That's why best friends become strangers, why relationships fall apart, why the people who swore they'd never leave vanish without a trace. This realization isn't about becoming bitter, it's about becoming aware. You stop building your emotional foundation on shaky ground. You stop expecting permanence from temporary connections. You stop being shocked when someone leaves after their need is no longer met. It's not personal, it's pattern. It's what people do when they're unconscious, when they're not rooted in higher integrity or self-awareness. But here's the power move. When you stop expecting people to be loyal to you, you start observing what they're truly loyal to. Is it comfort? Is it status? Is it emotional support? And if you're smart, you stop over-investing in people who only show up when they need you and disappear when you need them. You shift your energy inward. You commit to your own growth, your own truth, your own standards, and then, and only then, do you begin attracting people who are loyal not just to their needs, but to values, to depth, to alignment, to mutual evolution. Stop trying to be everything for everyone. Stop taking it personally when their loyalty shifts. Start recognizing the difference between a true ally and someone just passing through for their own benefit. Because when you stop expecting loyalty based on what you do for others and start demanding alignment with who you are, you level up your life forever. Let's be honest, betrayal cuts deep. Whether it's a friend who turned their back, a partner who broke your trust, or someone who simply walked away when you needed them most, that pain can feel like a punch to the soul. But here's the truth most people don't want to face. The pain isn't just about what they did. It's about what you allowed. It's about where you gave away your power without realizing it. When someone betrays you, it's not the betrayal that breaks you. It's the illusion you were living in. You believed they would never hurt you. You believed they were different. You gave them emotional territory they never earned, and when they left or disappointed you, it wasn't just about their actions. It was about the expectations you built around them. That pain, that sting, that wound, it's a mirror showing you where you were placing your worth in someone else's hands. But here's where transformation begins. That mirror is your gift. That pain is your wake-up call. You stop asking, why did they do this to me? And start asking, why did I make them responsible for my peace? Because when someone betrays you, they reveal a truth you were unwilling to face. You made them your anchor, your emotional home, your safe place, without having built that security within yourself first. And guess what? That's not weakness, that's humanity. But now, it's time to evolve. When you take back your power, betrayal doesn't destroy you. It refines you. You stop giving the keys to your happiness to people who haven't earned them. You build boundaries, not walls, but boundaries built from wisdom. You become more selective, more intentional, more grounded in who you allow close to your heart. That pain you felt, use it. Let it sharpen your awareness. Let it raise your standards. Let it remind you that no one outside of you can define your value or dictate your destiny. You are not broken because someone broke your trust. You're becoming because life removed who was never meant to carry your vision. Here's the raw reality most people overlook. If you don't show up for you, no one else truly can. Because no relationship, no friendship, no partnership can ever be deeper than the one you have with yourself. You want loyalty, you want real connection. Start by giving that to the person in the mirror. We've been taught to chase love, to chase approval, to seek validation from others. So we bend, we shrink. We overgive, We try to earn loyalty by sacrificing our needs, but that never works. Because if you abandon yourself just to be accepted by someone else, you don't get connection, you get dependency. You don't get love, you get approval on a leash, and that leash will choke the life out of your confidence. The truth is, people treat you according to the standard you've set by how you treat yourself. If you tolerate disrespect from you, if your inner voice is full of judgment, doubt, and shame, don't be surprised when the world mirrors that back. But when you speak to yourself with power, when you invest in your growth, when you honor your own needs and boundaries, you set a tone. You create a vibration, and that energy, it attracts people who recognize your worth without needing to be convinced of it. You stop begging, you stop chasing, you stop adjusting yourself to fit into small spaces. Instead, you walk with clarity, with certainty. You speak truth even when it's uncomfortable. You say no when you mean no. You stop entertaining relationships where you're only valued for what you do rather than who you are. That's when true connection happens, not because you need someone, but because you're already full, already grounded, already aligned, and you allow others in from a place of abundance, not desperation. That's power, that's self-respect, that's real love. So if you've been wondering why you keep ending up with people who don't stay, ask yourself, have I truly stayed with me? Have I truly listened, honored, and loved who I am? Because the world cannot give you what you're unwilling to give yourself first. Let me say this loud and clear: expectation is a trap. It puts your peace, your happiness, your identity in the hands of other people. You expect them to show up. You expect them to be honest. You expect them to support you the way you would support them, and every time they don't, you feel crushed. Why? Because you were living in reaction mode instead of creation mode. But the moment you stop expecting others to behave a certain way, the moment you release that emotional leash, you take back full control of your life. You step into leadership. Because true leaders don't wait for the world to love them, follow them, or understand them. They move forward anyway. They live by standards, not expectations. You want to know why your relationships hurt, why your friendships feel disappointing, because you're expecting others to fulfill roles you were meant to grow into yourself. You're putting your emotional survival in hands that were never trained to hold it. But when you stop expecting people to complete you, support you, or stay loyal without question, you stop being a passenger, and you become the driver of your life. Now listen carefully. This doesn't mean you stop believing in people. It means you stop making them the source of your power. You stop needing them to validate your journey. You lead by example, not by emotional contract. You become so clear, so consistent, so powerful in your own identity that people either rise to meet you or they fall away. And either way, you keep moving forward. This is the difference between the life you settle for and the life you're called to live. People will disappoint you, that's guaranteed. But what happens next, that's on you. You can keep getting stuck in blame, bitterness, and broken trust, or you can rise into the version of you that doesn't need loyalty to lead with purpose. You are not here to wait for people to choose you. You are here to choose yourself over and over again until the world sees who you really are. So stop expecting, start leading. That's where the breakthrough lies.